Hi Maker Friends! In today's video I'm going to show you how to make an I-cord, and I'm using this in one of my patterns, so I thought it would be a good idea to have a little video tutorial and showing you how I do this. So let's begin by grabbing a double pointed needle and the yarn that you're going to use to make the I-cord, and we're going to start off by just making a slip knot and placing that on your double pointed needle. And then you're going to cast on. I'm going to make a 3-stitch I-cord, but you could make a thicker one with 5, but the pattern that I'm working on calls for a 3-stitch. So I'm just going to cast on another 2 stitches. The slip knot counts as 1. So now that you've done this, you're just going to slide your work to the other end of your double pointed needle. You can pick up another double pointed needle or just use your circular needles, and that works too. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to re-knit. We're going to knit those 3 stitches over and over again until you get the required length of the I-cord that you need. So then you just, after you knit the 3 stitches, just slide them down your needle, and the yarn will come from the furthest stitch that you last knit, and it will lay across, and that's what pulls the stitches together and forms that I-cord. So you just knit those 3 again, and I'm just going to do a couple here so you can see what the little I-cord begins to look like. Slide them down. And as you can see, it starts to form a little tubular, and it's a beautiful little I-cord, and I'm using this. Once you've got the length that you like, all that's left to do is to bind off the stitches, and you would do that as a normal bind off, and then just snip the yarn, and I'll show you how to put it through the casing. Okay, so here we've got our little pullover, and we've got the I-cord, and I just like to use a safety pin, and I just insert it into the bottom of this I-cord, shut the safety pin, and we're going to start weaving it through here. And so we've got, a lot of people will start at this hole and work their way around, but that leaves kind of a gap here where the material doesn't pucker. So what I do is I start in the right hole and then just go all the way around. Just slide that through. And when you get close to where you inserted your first strand, I guess I gotta weave in that end, you will go by the hole and come out the second hole. And what this does is when you tighten up the I-cord, it pulls it evenly, and then it doesn't leave like a gap there. So it works really nice. And then what I like to do is I just make a knot here. First I weave in the end, and then I make a knot at the end of the I-cord so that it can't fall back in through the casing. So that's how to insert the casing or the I-cord into that lovely little casing. So once you've got just make a little knot, and you can tie this up. You're ready for your little one. I don't like to make the cords too long if it's for a child, because they can get tangled and stuff, so I keep them a little bit on the shorter side, and that's why I like to have the knot in there. So, and there you go, you have it, your casing and your little I-cord for the cow collar.